Hey, my name is Kelsey, and this is my personal literary narrative. My love for reading began around age 2 when my parents read to me. My favorite books at that time were Time for Bed, Frog and Toad Are Friends, and the Berenstain Bear books. By the time I could read on my own, my mother took me to the library with her every week. Then, once I entered elementary school, I was reading practically every day. I was also reading a couple grade levels ahead. I began reading chapter books such as the Junie B. Jones books, A Series of Unfortunate Events, and of course Harry Potter. And in elementary school, we were bribed to read with the promise of Pizza Hut coupons if we read for a certain amount of minutes. I personally liked this incentive. And then, in middle school, I still had a love for reading. By this time, we were learning to write book reports and essays. But then came high school required texts. Required readings such as Romeo and Juliet, The Odyssey, The Scarlet Letter, The Catcher in the Rye, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. Most of the time, I didn't understand what these books were trying to say, and I ended up sparknoting the entire thing and never actually reading the book or understanding why we had to read it in the first place. If there's one thing I learned from being required to read these texts in high school, it's to stop making students read books that they do not like. It was at this time that my love for reading faltered and I didn't do it as much. I think it is important for children to be able to choose what kind of books they want to read instead of being forced to read certain ones that they do not like. Thank you for listening to my literary narrative.
Created using Powtoon.